Well, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming to you from my home here in Columbus. I want to thank all my loyal viewers out here. A nice little change here. I'm sitting in my black easy chair tonight instead of sitting on the couch. As usual, I'm decided to make a little change in my habits a little bit. Trying to come on the air here tonight. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started right here. I'm going to bring you up to speed on what has happened. Wednesday night, I watched the Kings beat the Rangers in overtime, 3-2 in Game 1 of their opening game in their series in the Stanley Cup Finals. I just watched the Spurs beat the Heat and beat the Heat. I'll get to that here in a second. The Spurs won 105, 110 to 95 tonight. Congratulations to them. They take a one game to none lead, and the Kings take a one game to none lead over the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup Finals. Basically, the reason why I'm saying the Spurs beat the Heat and beat the Heat, they beat the Miami Heat, yes, but they also had to beat the Heat because during the game there was an electrical problem over the AT&T Center, which is where the Spurs play their games. They had a power failure and the air conditioning went out. They had to play their game in a 90-degree environment in the arena. It was 90 degrees. It was miserable. I have never seen anybody put on so many good performances in their life. I mean, I was impressed with what they did. LeBron James left the game in the fourth quarter because he couldn't take the heat because he was cramping up along with everybody else. It was a miracle. It was hot. It was miserable. I have never seen anybody play basketball in that kind of an environment. I mean, congratulations to the Spurs. They beat the Heat and they beat the Heat. That's what I'm talking about when they beat the Miami Heat, but they had to beat the Heat in the building as well when the air conditioning went out. Their game was played in a 90-degree environment. The NBA, the folks in charge of the AT&T Arena have said we will have the air conditioning problem fixed before Game 2. Game 2 will be Sunday night, and Game 2 of the Stanley, and as well thinking about final series, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals will be on Saturday night. That game will be seen on NBC on Saturday, and Game 2 of the NBA Finals will be seen Sunday evening here on ABC, and we'll just see what happens from there. But on a little sad note this evening, I'm going to report this to you. We've lost one of the best baseball minds that we've ever seen in all the years. Former Yankee bench coach, former Red Sox manager, former Chicago Cubs manager Don Zimmer passed away. And everybody will remember Don Zimmer for his incident with Pedro Martinez back in the '03 American League Championship Series when there was a near brawl. Zimmer, they're all saying they charged to Pedro. Pedro threw him to the ground. He was a 72-year-old man, and they said that was the wrong thing to do. And also, too, Don Zimmer was also the man. A little FYI for you. Don Zimmer was the manager of the Boston Red Sox when they had that one-game playoff in October back in 1978. And that's how. And the story of how Bucky Dent was born, or how should I say Bucky Bleepin' Dent was born, basically he told this because what happened was he was up in the north. Zimmer told the story. He was up in the North Carolina mountains. He stopped his car, and when he thought nobody was going to hear him, he screamed, "Bucky Bleepin' Dent!" So loud. Well, he didn't say bleeping. I'm just saying it to try to keep it clean, You get the idea. And a little bit later on, Bucky Dent got traded to San Diego, so he had to go play ball there. He sold his house. He was looking for somebody to buy it. He got a phone call from Don Zimmer saying, "I'd like to buy your house." So he did, but what they did was Dent decided to get a little cute. He put up all the pictures of that home run in that '78 AL East playoff game. He put them all up, and when he bought the house, he moved in. So he called up Don Zimmer. So Dent called up Don Zimmer a little later on and said, "How's the new house going?" "Oh, it's going pretty good." "What'd you do with all the pictures of the home run?" He said, "I took them down and I threw them in the trash." Which I kind of expected that from Zimmer. But Zimmer was also the manager of the Cubs and also a bench coach for the New York Yankees. He's actually got a World Series ring as a player when he played for the Yankees back in 1950. I think it was either the Dodgers or the Yankees. I can't remember which one. All I remember was the Dodgers were in Brooklyn at the time, so he does have a World Series ring as a player. But I'm going to go ahead and end this for the night. Just a reminder, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals will be Saturday evening at 7 o'clock on NBC. Game 2 of the NBA Finals will be on ABC on Sunday evening. But just one more thing to add. Saturday afternoon, 4:30 on NBC Sports. Mark it down. We will have the third jewel of horse racing's Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. Will California Chrome win the Triple Crown? We will wait and see. But until Saturday evening, this is Scott Manning saying good night, good luck, and thank you. I thank you, and good night.